Right, it is 9:38 a.m. and I was not able to get filled, but I was interested in buying EMGE. And the idea was that it was doing a nice multi-day breakout around this 36 level. As you can see, 36 was right here, kind of like the top of this one. It had an attempt here, it didn't get close to it, and it actually opened pretty nicely. And I was interested in it right here around 39 once it was trading back and forth within this range right here. And then when it was breaking past it, I did try to buy 3,000 shares at 934, which was right here, but I did not get filled, which sucks. And then I was watching it, and then the idea was that maybe it was going to break this round number of 4 cents, and that would have been like a nice round number breakout level. I tried to get filled here as well, but I actually still had it as a sell, so that when I placed an order right here to buy. I had it, buy to try to get in, and I had this order placed, but then I immediately changed it to sell, so that I'm assuming I might be filled in the position, and then I already have the sell ready right here, so I can start, having one less thing to do once I'm in a setup. But when I placed the order, I didn't have any position, so it didn't do anything. So I don't know if I would have been filled or not here at 4 cents. We did break this trend line eventually. It didn't get much higher. It got from 40 to 41, but I will be watching this now if it can do like a nice convincing dip under VWAP or something around VWAP, or maybe the 39 level. It's just going to be something to watch right now, and I will be considering a kind of dip buy setup that plays around that. It is 9:44. We did have a dip here, and I was watching the price action, but yeah, there's something with EMGE. I just wasn't able to get filled, and I just don't like the way how it's trading. It looks so ugly. But I did take a trade with the thing in mind, and at 9:42, I did place an order to buy 3,000 shares at 395, and I didn't want to get filled at 395. When I wanted to get filled, it was around this 391 level, when it looked like it was trying to turn around right then and there. But what happened was that it was already starting to uptrend, and then it started to look kind of ugly. So then I canceled the order. But then I noticed that the order wasn't immediately canceling, so I was prepared with the possibility that maybe I got filled already, and that is exactly what happened. I did get filled, and that was 3,000 shares at 395 at 942, which was right here. And then it was just looking kind of sketchy. A lot of the setups that end up not working are setups where I wanted to be in, but then something about it made me want to get out of it. But when I try to get out of it, I still get filled, and I just wanted to really get out of the trade quickly for that reason. I wasn't feeling comfortable, especially with the fact that I wanted to ideally again be in at this 391 level, not necessarily 395. That's just where I have my limit, just to not have a market order. And maybe worst case scenario, get executed way up here. I've seen that happen before. And yeah, again, I wanted to be in at a better price. I didn't like the way it was trading, and I also didn't like how 4 cents was right there. So I was essentially in at 395, and then if 4 cents fails and it doesn't break past it, I'm gonna be, selling on a downtrend. It's actually working right now, but I don't mind that because I just wasn't really comfortable with the way it was trading. It was kind of ugly looking, but essentially this was a dip under VWAP setup. Ideally, this could have been played out over a few more candles instead of just one big red candle here. I will continue to watch it. It could be a setup too if it tries to break 415, but that is not the best setup. I will be watching that though, and I'll make an update later. It is 10:13 and I just got out of a trade with LKNCY, and this one met my expectations. It was a moment when I wanted to be kind of greedy, and I thought, okay, this thing is breaking past VWAP. Let's maybe try to hold on to it a bit longer. But then I thought, VWAP has always been a goal, and I'm just going to sell into the break past VWAP because not a lot of setups get to VWAP in the first place. And maybe because of the fact that this one did get above it is why it's going to continue to go higher, and I'll make an update later. But this was an inverse head and shoulders also on the stock that is down. You can see the shoulder, the head, and the shoulder. This is LKNCY. This is an OTC, but it's a very high price OTC. I ended up trading a larger position, but it's not that big of a deal because it is a higher price. I did trade 45 shares, and if you look at a daily chart, it also looks nice because it's been downtrending for a long period of time. You can see it right here. it's been downtrending, but I thought this one was going to be better because of the fact that it was trading around that $12 level. So to me, it seems like it was a pretty nice level to drop towards. It could be like a potential support level, even though it's downtrending and it might be like scary. Oh, you're gonna, try to catch a falling knife. I thought maybe it might continue the downtrend, but it might also try to hold and bounce a little off of this $12 level. And then we had that inverse head and shoulders. So that made it ideal. I was in 45 shares, and that was right here at 10:06 a.m. and that was 12:13. So 10:06 was right here. I got in 45 shares, 12:13, and I let it do its thing. It took its time. I was gonna consider cutting the trade if it was gonna break the day low, which is $12.08, and I thought, maybe worst case scenario, it breaks under 12. We have a panic at the 11s. I wasn't able to get out. When it breaks 12:08, and then, I'm trying to sell at ideally 12. But if we break under 12 and it has a panic, maybe I will be out in the 11:30s or 40s, and that will be a $40 loss. Yeah, this one is getting above VWAP, and not just above VWAP, but even more. It is trading with a bit of a spread, but that's nice. It's in the 1230s. And I did sell in pieces. I did sell 10 shares at 12.17 and a half. That was at 10:09 when it was starting to work just a little bit. Right around here at 12.17 is when I sold my first piece. And then I sold the second piece at 10:11 right here. And this was at 12.18. And then I sold my last piece, more than half of my position, and that was at 12:28 at 10:13. So that was right here. 12:28 is when I sold the majority of my shares. I think I traded it well, although maybe I could have just continued to have 10 shares because, it did break past VWAP, and maybe I could have held 10 shares just to see if it would do something like this, or maybe even downtrend but then hold VWAP and then it can make another leg up. That could have been a thing too, but I also have to take into consideration that there was a lot of downtrending momentum as well, and I didn't think this is going to be it where it's going to drop to 12 and it's going to bounce perfectly back. It might not do that, but I thought it could at least drop towards this $12 level and bounce a little bit. So this was nice that I got to VWAP. I don't know how much I'm up on this trade. I don't think I was up that much because it is a high priced OTC, but I will check and I will continue to look for setups. I was interested in EMGE right here when it had another dip towards VWAP because I thought this was like a higher low. You see the first dip under VWAP, it was below it and pretty excessively in uptrends, and then we have another drop towards VWAP, and now it's holding it, so that's like a good momentum, but it just kind of jumped and looked all ugly right here, so I never traded it. I was never in it, but ideally I would have been in at this 3.99 level or this 4 cent level, and it did get to 41, but it just didn't do much more. It wasn't that clean looking. And then when it dropped back here, I was no longer interested in it because it looked like a head and shoulders. The shoulder, the head, and then I thought this could be like the shoulder. Also, another reason why I wanted to consider buying because it was a higher low off of here, off of this VWAP level, but it could have also have been that thing where I'm buying right before it makes a right shoulder of a head and shoulders, and that's also what it did. Nothing to really be able to trade off of this, successfully at least. It's just not that clean looking. So yeah, I will make an update later, but yeah, that was a W with LKNCY, and I'll make an update as to what it does later. Alright, it is 10:22 p.m. and I'm here to call it off. Overall, I'm going to be up on a day, $5.60. That was two trades. EMGE, this one did work out. I just didn't like the way it was trading. I wasn't at the best price I wanted to be in. I didn't like how we were right under the resistance level, but it did manage to uptrend and it made a move. I was interested in actually trading this piece right here, but I hesitated it because I just didn't really want to be a part of it. But it actually did make a nice move over a longer period of time, and there was this kind of thing where it eventually had like this little baby uptrend, but then it kind of came back to the 36s. This would have been nice if I was a part of it. I don't mind missing that one too much, but I do mind with LKNCY. There was a chance where if I just thought about it a little more, I could have considered shorting this because I forgot that I am able to short sell on Schwab, and this was an example of a OTC that was shortable on Schwab, and it would have been worth it to short because um, uh, it's 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 something that charges commissions on Schwab, but I would have been trading a large enough size, I think. And once it started a downtrend and no longer be able to get above VWAP, this was a pretty nice thing. And yeah, it did a super nice downtrend. I could have even tried it again here, but I didn't want to necessarily do it. That's pretty much it. I do regret missing out on this one right here. Maybe I could have taken the setup right there when it was downtrending, but then it started to accelerate much more, and then it breaks the trend line and everything. And then EMGE, this one did uptrend later, but this one I just don't like the way it trades sometimes. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I need to remember that I am able to short sell some OTCs using Schwab.